While Craig is getting set up, I want to introduce Craig Barnett. Craig is from the North American Hockey League and also from the American Collegiate Hockey Association, and he'll explain both to you in just a moment.
We'll try it this way. Sorry about that. I was a goalie, so that could be part of the problem. How many goalies are in here? I'm with you. Thank you. Sorry about that mix-up here. My name is Craig Barnett. As Mike said, I want to thank Mike first of all and A-High for having me here. I think this is my 7th time being able to come and talk to high school kids here in Illinois. My career has been, I've been blessed to be in hockey a long time. I'm actually from Toronto, came to the States to play college hockey. I had a chance to play Division I hockey, and I chose Division III, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in the second year. But I've been very fortunate. After my playing days, I became a coach. So I was a head coach for 15 years, 8 years at the Division I level. I was an NCAA Division I head coach, Division III. And after my coaching days, I got into administration. I was an athletic director at a school, a Division III school in Boston. Then I had the opportunity to go to a school that had Division I hockey as the athletic director there. So I tell you that just because from a coaching perspective, very much like Coach Moore, you kind of understand, what it takes to recruit and what coaches look for and all that good stuff. The athletic director role that I was in, a lot of that dealt with compliance and helping coaches get these good prospective student athletes into your school and so forth, and eligibility issues and so, all those things. So in my current role, I have 2 jobs right now. I've been with the North American Hockey League for 7 years, and then I'm also the executive director now of the ACHA, which I just completed my first year. When I started with my ACHA job, I became part-time with the North American Hockey League, and I still work with them as the NCAA compliance and education person. So is there anyone in here that played a week or 2 ago in Blaine as one of our guest teams up there in the NAPHL at all, or anybody in this room? Okay. My job with the North American Hockey League, I'll show you some of these slides here, but we during the early part of the season, when we have our showcases, I talk to all of our teams about what they need to do to be academically and athletically eligible. Okay, so I'm going to wear my North American Hockey League hat here for the little bit here for the beginning, and talk about some of the things that Coach Moore talked about, and maybe put it in a little more perspective for what they look for at the junior level. Okay. So if you're going to play junior hockey, our goal in our league is we want to get those kids academically and athletically eligible to play college hockey. That's our goal, okay? And chances are, a lot of guys in this room raised their hand when Coach Moore asked if you wanted to play college hockey. Chances are, if that's the case, if you have aspirations to do that, you're probably going to have to play junior hockey. All right? It's just changed a lot over the last 10, 15 years. It's not in stone. We still see guys go from high school and be able to play college hockey. But if you look at the rosters, and there's all kinds of resources out there for you guys to do, I would suggest uscollegehockeyonline.com is a huge resource where you can investigate the 60 Division I schools, the 84 Division III schools, or 91 Division III schools, and look at the rosters. And what you'll see at the NCAA Division I, at NCAA Division III, and a lot of the ACHA Division I programs, most of those rosters, if not 95% of them, are players that play junior hockey. Okay? So it's important to know that. Because if you raised your hand, okay, that's probably the path you want to go, is junior hockey. So what you need to understand, as Coach Moore said, under the USA Hockey umbrella, there's 3 tiers of junior hockey. Tier 1, which is the USHL, fantastic league, 16 teams plus a national development team, okay? Then there's Tier 2, that's the North American Hockey League. This year, we're at 26 teams. That's the most teams we've had for a long time. Why is that important? Because there's more opportunities now for you guys. There's 2 more teams than we had last year. Okay, we carry 20, actually the protected roster as of 11:59 p.m. tonight. The USHL and the North American Hockey League have to cut their rosters down to 23 people. Okay, so that's 46 new opportunities this year in the North American Hockey League. There's some differences between the USHL and the North American Hockey League, and there's some similarities. Okay, one of the biggest differences between the USHL and the North American Hockey League is the USHL is a younger league. Okay, they really focus on identifying those 15, 16-year-old blue chippers. Okay, we view that we don't compete with the USHL. We feel the USHL actually competes with the Canadian Hockey League. That's the Ontario Hockey League, the Quebec Major League, and the Western Hockey League. Because they're identifying those younger kids, and they're trying to have them play the USHL and not go play Major Junior A, because they're blue chip kids. Okay? So they're a younger league. North American Hockey League, we're a little bit older. Okay? Our average age is about 18, 19. Yeah, we do have some 17-year-olds. Okay? We do have quite a few 20-year-olds, because we're an older league. All right? One of the other differences are the USHL guys, before they even played their first USHL game, already have their Division I commitment. Most guys that come into the North American Hockey League do not have a commitment, NCAA commitment, or a college commitment. They get it while they play in the North American Hockey League. We're probably more the norm. As you grow, as you go to high school, as you become better students, as you get older, stronger, faster, that whole thing, that's probably about the 18, 19-year-old mark. Okay? The biggest similarity between the 2 leagues is really the cost. You don't pay to play the USHL, you don't pay to play except for room and board in the North American Hockey League. So 16, we won't include the national development team with USHL. So there's 16 teams in the USHL, 26 now in the North American Hockey League. So there's 42 junior teams in the United States under the USA Hockey umbrella that you don't pay to play. And in our league, where you pay for room and board, it's about $350 a month. Okay, so it's probably a bargain for mom and dad. Get them out of the house, and you'll save a lot of money on groceries, right? So it's very competitive. You don't pay to play. We have Tier 3 hockey, okay, which under the USA Hockey umbrella is a pay-to-play model. We operate the 3HL, the NA3HL. That's one of our leagues that we operate. We often have our Fraser Cup right here in Chicagoland. Used to be in Romeoville. Really having a lot of computer problems today. There we go. There we go. So that's the difference with Tier 3 Junior. It's a pay-to-play model, okay? But that could be a path for a lot of you guys in this room. All right, it's because it's so competitive at the division, at Tier 1 and Tier 2, that Tier 3 becomes a strong path for a lot of guys getting into junior hockey. All right, you got to think about this. It's the same with Division 1 at the college level. USHL North American Hockey League. There's a lot of guys that want those jobs. Last week we had our North American Hockey League showcase in Blaine, Minnesota. We had 365 scouts there. Every NHL team was there with at least 2 scouts. Every NCAA Division I team's there. A lot of D3 guys are there. A lot of our ACHA coaches were there. There's agents there. There's family advisors there. We call it the greatest show on ice. Every year we have a huge turnout in September. So think about this. If you're playing in North American Hockey League, you show up to Blaine last week, you play 3 games. You're playing in front of 365 scouts. There's 25 guys on that roster. On September 1, USHL North American Hockey League can have 25 guys. Okay, so they go to that event, they see it, they see the crowds, they see the scouts, they have an unbelievable time. They go back to wherever they're coming from, and here's our footprint right here. This is our footprint in the North American Hockey League. So you can see we have 2 teams in Alaska. We now have teams in the East Coast, a lot of teams in the South, a lot of teams in the Mid-Corridor. So now they all go back after the playing showcase, and at 11:59 tonight, before October 1st, USA Hockey makes USHL, the North American Hockey League, cut it down to 23. So we have 26 times 2 guys, that's 52 players that have a great experience, that are good enough to play in the North American Hockey League, that now are not playing in the North American Hockey League. Not only that, but the USHL are also making the cuts. They're going from 25 to 23. They were just in Pittsburgh last weekend with their showcase. Okay? So who's waiting for those cuts? Our coaches. So not only are they cutting 2 guys, but they're also waiting for the cuts from the USHL. It's a business at the Tier 1 and Tier 2 level. Our owners don't get tuition dollars from their players to fund the program. We need seats in the stands. We need sponsorships, and they also make some money to help fund their programs with the summer camps, okay? But that's the life of a North American Hockey League USHL player. How do you play in the North American Hockey League? I'm going to use this because I'm going to have to use my fingers to go through. So how do you play in the North American Hockey League real quick? There's really 3 ways. You can be drafted. Okay, anybody that's playing USA Hockey 16 to 20 years old are eligible to be drafted. You don't have to register or anything. Okay, so teams can draft you. We have a draft in June. All right, you can be tendered. Okay, a tender is a contract of sorts. What we do is we give all our coaches 10 tenders on November 1st, and they get to become a college coach because now they can recruit players for their junior team, and that's what the tender does. So they want to go to Jack, is it? The main sweatshirt on? They want to go to Jack and they like his play. We want you to come play for us in Amarillo. We want you to come play for us in our new team, New Mexico. We have a new team in Maine right now. So they're recruiting you and your family. That's your opportunity to ask questions. You know, I'm still in high school. What's the local high school like? Is it a bricks and mortar? Do you do online schooling? It's got to fit into their schedule. How do you think the guys up in Alaska go to high school? You know, when they go on the road, they're on the road for 3 weeks. You know, it takes a special person to be prepared and ready to play junior hockey at the Tier 1 and 2 level. Okay, so you can turn a tender down. You can be offered multiple tenders, but if you sign a tender in the North American Hockey League, we also have tenders in the NA3HL. If you sign a tender in the NA3HL, that's a contract, a commitment between you and that team. Okay, and that goes for a year. No other team in our league can recruit you. You can go to any team you want in the USHL. You can go to any team you want in the NA3HL if it's a North American Hockey League tender. Okay? But you still have to go to camp. You still have to make the team. You still have to fight for your spot every day. Our rosters don't freeze until February. So those kids are fighting for their job every day. The coaches have to win, and they have to develop and move players on. So it's a grind. It's an absolute grind. And that's why Coach Moore said, college coaches want guys that play junior hockey. I'm going to skip a few slides here. Personal growth. I'm a big separation factor guy. Everyone raised their hands in here. Coach Moore talked about the numbers of opportunities that there are out there for college hockey. And if we gave everyone a spot in this room that play Division I college hockey, there'd be no more spots open. So you've got to ask yourself, what are you doing differently than the guy sitting beside you right now tonight that raised their hand and wants that spot in the blue circle, the NCAA logo circle? What are you doing differently than the guy sitting at a post-high school seminar right now in Boston that's having the same conversation, or in Toronto, or in British Columbia, or in Finland? So it's competitive, okay? So you've got to look at separation factors. The 2 biggest separation factors are the same 2 of 3 that Coach Moore mentioned, okay? Coaches, even at the junior level, know how you are as a hockey player. They're not going to ask that question. They wouldn't be talking to your coach if they didn't know how you are as a hockey player, okay? But it's, what are your grades? And what type of character is it? Okay? In fact, if you listen to interviews with coaches these days in all these sports, you know what? Good character really isn't good enough anymore. You listen to those interviews when they won a championship. You know, how did you guys become so good? It's the character is we get great character kids now. We get great character kids. Good isn't good enough anymore. There's just so many good hockey players out there. Okay? High school hockey in Illinois is really, really good. You know, where we haven't seen growth is at the NCAA Division I level. It was about 58 teams for 10, 12 years. Then Penn State came in and Arizona State came in. We've been at 60 for a while. Hopefully Illinois will come in to be at 61. But we haven't seen a lot of growth there. But we're seeing growth at these levels right here. Band hockey, midget hockey, 18U, 16U, 15U, high school hockey. So where is all that talent going? Okay, I think there's a lot of good NCAA Division I players playing NCAA Division III hockey and ACHA Division I hockey. That's where they're going. But that difference between the guys in this room, what are those separation factors, aside from grades and aside from character? You know, this is where playing junior hockey separates guys, the personal growth. When you're able to balance your high school schedule and your travel playing junior hockey for 60 games, riding the buses for 5, 6, 10, 12 hours, that's a separation factor from somebody else that's not doing that grind. That's why we want 20-year-olds as college coaches. You want 21-year-old freshmen because they're bigger, stronger, faster, and you know, this is probably a little too old of a rock band for some of our younger guys in here, but I was a big The Killers fan. They came out with an album called Battleborn. They're Battleborn. Guys that play junior hockey are Battleborn. And that's a separation factor. The other separation factors are what you're doing strength-wise, nutrition-wise. You're learning, you gotta eat better, because it's a grind. You know, you're probably seeing that at your high school level right now. My son plays high school football. His nutrition, cinnamon French toast sticks in the morning, chicken sandwich at dinner time, and DiGiorno frozen pizza at lunch. Like, it's not working. He's a beanpole. He's not getting stronger. He's not eating well. You know, somebody else that wants that same opportunity, that's in the weight room, that's doing things off the ice, that's doing things on the ice, that's, you know, what are you doing differently? Separation factors. Okay, you got to be thinking of that right now. Our development, we have a ton of goalies. Why does the North American Hockey League have a lot of goalies? Because we're an older league. Goalies are usually mature a little bit later. And we have a nice slide here that shows our goaltending. A little off here. There we go. I'll come back to the education thing real quick, but you know, we're known for our goalies because goalies mature usually a bit later. And, you know, the younger ones are playing the USHL, but the guys that started developing a little bit later are coming through the North American Hockey League right now. So they were the first ones that we started getting draft picks from and so forth. But we've come a long way, as you can see here from some of the slides and some of the players that have come through the NA. We're very proud of it. There's really two ways you can go from the North American Hockey League. One way is you can go from Tier 2 to play Tier 3. Tier 2 to play Tier 1 as a promotion. So you go from the NA and you can go to the USHL. We had 110 guys last year that played in the USHL that played in the NA. But the most popular way, the most common way, is our guys are going right to the NCAA. So what we're proud of is this number right here, 350 NCAA commitments last year, with 24 teams last year. So we're at more than 10 to 12 guys per team are getting an NCAA commitment. We had 231 Division I commitments last year. So again, it's a tough league to make. It's a business, but we continue to get good coaching, good players, good character, good owners, and it's a good opportunity for some guys in this room. It could be a good path for you. Our NA3HL product is our Tier 3 product, as I mentioned earlier. I bring it up because we've had a lot of growth with that. We have 34 teams across 16 different states in the 3HL. We have a lot of exposure events for them as well, and their promotions they could go from the 3HL to the NA, to the USHL, to Division 1 or Division 3 or ACHA hockey. This number right here is what we're really proud of in the 3HL. Is the 35 guys. We had 35 guys starting the 3HL last year that ended up playing in the North American Hockey League. We had over 100 college commitments. So yes, it's a pay-to-play league, but there's a lot of opportunity there for a lot of people in this room. This could be a path for you at your first stop of junior hockey, if that's the route you choose to go. We could never put this slide up a couple years ago. This is recent. The guys at the bottom of that slide started playing NA3HL hockey, and they worked their butt off because they probably weren't real happy playing 3HL hockey. They wanted to continue to chase their dreams and play college Division 1 hockey. And they went to play in the NA, and then now they're all playing Division 1 hockey. So that's a good starting point for us. We are seeing Division 1 commitments from kids that played in the NA3HL. The average age of a college Division 1 commitment is 18.9 years old. Okay, so you hear about all these kids that are making verbal commitments at 15 years old or 14 years old, and you're like, somebody just committed to Harvard University, they haven't even started high school yet. The NCAA is now taking that pressure off those families, because what happens is the 14, 15-year-old are making college choices, they're getting commitments, and the parents who supported you, your mom and dad who supported you, are looking over their shoulders going, what are we doing wrong? Let's go get a family advisor, let's get an agent, let's do this, let's do that. That's not the norm. It's not the norm. So this past May, the NCAA has a new rule that they cannot even talk to a prospective student athlete until January 1st of their grade 10 year, or 10th grade year. So they're trying to slow down those early verbal commitments now, and hopefully that will take some pressure off you as a young man, and even our young women that are playing girls hockey, and the parents that are thinking that maybe I don't know how this recruiting works. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. You're not, and we're trying to now let you develop as young men and young women and make college commitments at a normal time. The average age is 18.9. So I know I'm running out of time here. Just want to talk about ACHA here, who we are and what we do. This year for 2019 and 20. I took this job because there's so many opportunities in the ACHA. I wasn't real familiar with it. All I saw were the opportunities and how many teams we have and how many coaches we have and how many players we have. It's unbelievable. This year right now, we are, and I know this came up small on the projector here, but we're at 528 teams right now. We're in 48 different states. So, to play NCAA hockey, you kind of have to be in one of those local hockey markets to play college hockey, except now with Arizona State. I wish Arizona State was around when I was there playing college hockey, but there's a lot of markets now that have ACHA programs that are non-traditional college hockey markets. The only two states we don't have ACHA are in Alaska and Hawaii. I already have my resume in for the first time they start hockey in Hawaii. That'd be a cool job. We have 5 divisions. 5 divisions at the ACHA level: Men's Division 1, Men's Division 2, Men's Division 3, and we have Women's Division 1 and Women's Division 2. So at the Men's Division 1 level, we have 70 schools, 8 conferences this year. They play a nationwide schedule. It's pretty darn good hockey. Our top 20 Division 1 schools, it's really, really good hockey, good facilities. A lot of them are on all kinds of academic money, the equipment deals they have and so forth. It's shockingly surprising at how good this hockey is at the ACHA Division 1 level. Where they come from, if you can't see this slide, basically, when we looked at our rosters last year for Division 1, Most of our Division I rosters came from United States high school programs or prep programs. The second largest came from the NA3HL, and then the third was the USPHL, and then the fourth and fifth were 18U and the Eastern Hockey League. So again, a lot of junior teams. Our Division II, men's Division II, we had 221 schools last year in 4 regions. They play mostly a regional type schedule. They don't do as much national travel. But again, we have schools that should be Division I at this level, but they play Division II because of geography. Okay. Our Division III level, it's a shame that my slides aren't big enough here because the background pictures show that they play in front of full houses and they get a lot of crowds, and it's a great experience for our student athletes. We have 153 schools at the men's Division III level. Women's Division I, we have 25 schools. They play a nationwide schedule, and our growth is in women's Division II, where there's 55 schools. When I pulled the numbers last year, so these numbers might be a little bit older than what Mike showed, but Illinois players alone, we had 92 men's Division I players from Illinois last year. 332 players that played men's Division II were from Illinois, 111 at the men's Division III level, players that played most likely high school hockey or junior hockey from Illinois. Why the ACHA? We give you 5 years of eligibility. That's pretty cool to be a college student. To be able to go to college and work on your education and play college hockey at the same time, and you have 5 years. It's very difficult to graduate in 4 years, but we give 5 years of eligibility. So it's a good opportunity for a lot of people. The other thing that was mentioned earlier is the cost factor. Okay, it's about $8,500 to play Tier 3 junior hockey in the United States. You know, I can pay for 1 year tuition somewhere. You know, so sometimes you got these guys that go to college that play junior hockey for a year, and that's great. Test it for a year, see what you think. You know, then we have some guys that play a second year because they got a little bit of love from some coaches. Yeah, you'll come back that second year, you're pretty good, we want to see how you develop. So you go back and play a second year. We have some guys that play 3-4 years of junior hockey. And at some point there, it's different for everybody. At some point there, you got to weigh in the factor of the cost. If you're still playing Tier 3, you're paying $8,500 a year, that's a lot of money. Maybe you can invest that in a good ACHA school. Location that you like, the size that you like, the major that you like, those are all the most important things. Hockey should be 4th or 5th on that list. Okay? We are part of 17 organizations in the world that came under this new program last year called the Declaration of Principles by the NHL. So we're very honored and humbled to be invited to be part of those 17 organizations. And if you can't see the logos up there, it's the NHL, it's the American Hockey League, the USHL, North American Hockey League, the NCAA, the Canadian hockey groups, and so forth. But the ACHA is one of them. So we do have a partnership with the NHL. They support us. They help us with our national tournament. One of our other big partners is USA Hockey. We have our national tournament. We rotate that around in NHL cities. We bring all 5 of our divisions to our national tournament, and they all play for 5 divisional champions. So we have 72 teams. This will be our second year going down to Dallas with the Dallas Stars. We have 72 teams from all 5 of our divisions, and we play, it's about a week-long tournament, and it's been great. We just announced in 2022 that we're going to Boston, and the Boston Bruins are endorsing us and sponsoring us for our national tournament. All of our games are broadcast live. We have our own broadcasting team that we fly into every national tournament, about 45 people that come in, and we broadcast every game live so the families that can't be there can see it. And we do a good job. We do that because we're trying to give back to our student athletes to work on to appreciate their student athlete experience at the national tournament. And the biggest thing is when you look at the 25 top universities in the world, and this is a year old, The 25 top universities in the world by Newsweek, 17 of them are in the United States. Okay? Of those 17 schools in the United States, 14 of them have ACHA hockey. So again, what we're trying to do is get out to educate more people on the ACHA and the opportunities you have there at the men's Division I, Division II, Division III level. You'll have an opportunity tonight to talk to some of our members in the back there. And, you know, I think it's always smart when you're thinking about colleges, you should have your dream schools that you're looking for. You know, those reach schools, NCAA Division I maybe, you have one or two there, maybe you have a couple Division III. Then you want, you know, some Plan B schools, schools that you think you can get into that have really strong hockey programs, maybe at the Division III and ACHA level. And then you should have some Plan C schools, some safety net schools, some schools that you know academically you'll get in. You know academically you'll get in and be successful. You know they have hockey and you feel comfortable that you can play there because you've gone and seen a game, and you've reached out, you've been proactive in the recruiting process that Coach Moore talked about, and introduce yourself. You know, those are separation factors. Don't sit there and wait for the coach to come and find you. You know, be engaged in this, do your research and reach out. You know, junior coaches are the same way. Why do junior coaches care about grades? Because they need to move players on as well. So if I have two defensemen, I really like both defensemen, and one's got a 3.5 and one's got a 2.5, I need to move a kid on, you take the 3.5 kid. You know, everybody in this room still in high school, player-wise, hockey-wise. That means everybody in this room, you still control your grades. You can still control your grades. The guys that were freshmen, you can control a lot of your grades. Sophomores, you still control quite a few grades. Seniors, you don't control as many grades anymore, but you're still in high school, so you can still bump that up. Okay, there's a big difference between a 3.5 and a 3.4 or 3.2 student when it comes to academic scholarship money. So if you're cruising through right now with a 3.5 and it's easy for you, we talk about separation factors. We've talked about the number of players that want to play college hockey. Buckle down, get that 3.5 up to a 3.7, 3.8. Get that 2.5 up to a 2.6, 2.8 if you can. Every little better grade you have could end up being a separation factor when it comes to being recruited. Okay, so thank you for your time tonight. Sorry about the technical difficulty here, and I wish you all luck this year. Thank you.